This is one of my favorite recipes for Thanksgiving, and I know a lot of people say that they don't like Brussels sprouts, but maybe they haven't ever tried them. And every Thanksgiving we have a few converts. We take this to the family gathering that could be 30 or 40 people, and they're like, oh, I think I like Brussels sprouts now. So part of the secret of this is that we're going to cut them so they don't look like Brussels sprouts. And we're going to cook them for just a really short period of time so they don't stink up the whole house, and they don't get soggy. They're just nice and fresh and crisp. We're also going to add a little bit of sugar, which doesn't hurt. We're going to add a little bit of butter, and you can use oil if you don't want to use any dairy. We're going to use onion. We're going to use, again, this better than bouillon flavoring, or you could use chicken stock if you wanted to. And bacon. Of course, bacon makes everything better, so we're going to use it. Alright, so again, the secret here is the cutting of the Brussels sprouts. This you can do the night before. The actual cooking has to be done right before you serve your meal. So the cooking of this will be the very last thing you do before you serve your meal. But this is how you get ready the night before, or you could even do it a couple days ahead. So this is a Brussels sprout. It grows on a stalk like this. There's the whole stalk up and down grows like this. And they're like little baby cabbages. They're just so cute. Okay, I'm going to cut off the bottom. And pretty much that's all I have to do to start. Let's see, I'm going to move this over here again. Get organized. And then I'm going to come back and cut them into little shreds, like coleslaw, that kind of size. And so that they'll cook real fast. And some of the leaves will fall off. That's fine. I'm going to use those. Alright. That's a good start. That is going into the compost. And then you'll see what I do here is I take my Brussels sprout, cut it in half, lay it flat, and then I simply cut it very thinly. Like so. Not difficult. And sometimes I really love just chopping. It's kind of calming. Not everybody thinks so, but I do. Okay, for chopping, a lesson in chopping again. Knuckles. The knuckles come up, the knuckles hit the knife, not the end of the finger. So I've got my knuckles here, like so. Okay, there's all of those. Let's take these additional nice bright green leaves and we'll just chop them too. Doesn't really matter how you do it. Nice color in there. Okay, that's our Brussels sprouts. Now you're going to see that that's going to take a big pan. So we'll do that. But you can prep this the day before. Now I'm going to do the onion. And there are many ways to cut an onion. I'll show you how I do it. This one is going to be harder to peel. So again, I've got a nice flat surface for cutting. And I'm going to get rid of these extra papers. I don't want to eat those. I don't want the stem end. Okay, and for this dish, I just think it's pretty. Rather than chopping them into squares, I'm going to cut them into pretty little long slivers. And these are going to cook super fast, so they're not going to really cook. They're not going to get soft. So that's one of the reasons why I want them thin. And my eyes are starting to water. Okay, so there's our veggies. You can put this in a bowl, a covered bowl, because the onions are going to stink up the refrigerator. And just put this in the refrigerator till the next day. And then we'll take them out and we'll cook it with everything. The other thing that you can do the night before or a couple days before is cook the bacon. Now this is pre-cooked bacon, but I never think it's quite crispy enough. And so I want to cook it a little bit more, and I simply do that in the microwave for a couple minutes. And you can use as much bacon as you want. Generally, most people think more is better. And this is a holiday meal. And it's a very healthy holiday meal, so a little bit of extra goodness in there is fine. So I'm just going to take this and put it on a plate. And put it in the microwave and cook it. Okay, I'm going to take it over to the microwave and heat it for a few minutes and bring it back to you when it's as brown as I like it. The other thing is that it crisps more as it sits. So right out of the microwave it might not be super crispy, then I just let it sit and then I'll crumble it. Okay, this is a good thing to keep all those sprouts and onions in the fridge until you're ready to actually cook them. So, there we go with that. This looks really good to me. It's the bacon is all, the fat is foaming up out of the bacon, and it'll still be, let's see, I'll show you, kind of, see, soggy, but it'll crisp up when it cools, so I'll just let it cool. So this is also something you can get done the day or a couple days or even longer beforehand. So we'll put this in the fridge and we'll come back tomorrow and we will cook it. Hi, it is Thanksgiving and we are about ready to serve dinner. Everybody's here, everything else is ready. We just want to get this beautiful side dish done. So we have here our already chopped Brussels sprouts and onions. I have a nice big pan, and you're going to want a pan this big or bigger depending on how, if you're doing a bigger recipe. So we're going to get some heat going here. We are going to put our little bit of butter in there. You can also use oil if you don't want to use any dairy. You could go completely dry, but I don't think so. I don't want to do that. So we're going to get this melted, and then we have the onions kind of on top. I'm going to give them a little bit of a head start. You don't have to do this, but if you have some folks who aren't keen on a raw onion flavor, then you might want to. If everybody loves raw onion, don't do this. So we're not going to cook them brown like we did for the rice dish. We're just going to give them just a little bit more time cooking. And actually, if I thought ahead, I could have kept these out separate. Okay, can you hear that sizzle? Starting to cook a little bit. The butter, don't walk away from this. The butter will start to turn brown if it gets too hot, and burn if it gets really hot. Don't do that. So we're just giving this a couple of minutes. Actually, what I am looking here for is browning of the butter. I'm And then I'm going to dump everything else in. I also have here today a cup of water. We have the sugar. We have the, this is a chicken base. And I'm just going to put that right in with the water while I'm sitting here waiting. I'm going to put the lid on so it doesn't land on the floor. Okay. The other thing I've done is I've got my serving plate ready to go so that I can quickly get this out of the pan and over on the buffet to serve. Okay, the butter is just starting to turn a little brown there. I'm going to dump all of this in. See, it fills my pan. And I'm going to stir it a little bit. Trying to get some of the from the bottom up to the top. Sprinkle in a little bit of sugar. And I can see that it's getting, again, a little bit of brown on the bottom of the pan. That's fine, as long as it's not too brown. And these are just going to be such beautiful, fresh green color. Okay, so here I'm ready to put in my water and my chicken base, or you can use chicken stock. And this is basically going to steam it. We still have high heat. We want to keep it on high heat. And we've got just a few more minutes and then we're done. And the liquid that's in the bottom of the pan will pretty much dry up. And so you'll just have that nice flavor from the chicken stock or the chicken base, a little bit of sugar, and then of course the bacon on top. You see how nice and bright and green that's getting? Always want to taste. Yummy. Okay, I'm going to test the crunchiness. I've got a whole piece here. Ooh, hot. Still crunchy. Which I like. If you have any of these left over, they'll be softer when you go to eat them again, and they'll also be more olive colored and not such a bright green, but they'll still taste really good. Okay, we're getting so that there's very little moisture in the bottom. I'm going to let it go just a few more minutes. Okay, we're good. There's hardly any liquid left in here, and now I want to get it out of this pan and onto my serving platter. So I am going to do this, and I'll show you here. I don't think I can do it the other direction. We'll just have to show you like that. Okay, see, I've scraped it out. There we go. That is gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Steaming, beautiful to serve. And on top of this, of course, we cannot forget the bacon. So there we go. Now who wouldn't want that? It's just wonderful. Alright, there you're good to go. Happy Thanksgiving.